Manipulism and the Weapon of Guilt, Collectivism Exposed. Written by Mikkel Clair Nissen. Narrated by David Bucci. A personal social experiment. One of the easiest ways to prove how predictable collectivists truly are is with the social experiment that follows. When shopping at the supermarket, after having placed the groceries on the checkout conveyor belt, experiment with the simple act of not placing down the checkout divider, the gadget that one uses to distinguish one's groceries from the next customer's. With almost no exceptions, this failure to act in accordance with subliminal rules will set off the collectivist's excessive sense of entitlement and will frequently result in irritation, argumentation, projections, and oftentimes name-calling. The experiment is a perfect example of deception that drives collectivists to believe that they are given a personal choice in democratic socialism. The illusion of selflessness and the concern for the welfare of others are but codependent measures to avoid feeling personal guilt. This example works perfectly in a radicalized collectivist society, thus the recommendation is for this social experiment to be attempted more than once. More cultural freedoms and individual choice can be measured in the accruing narcissistic behaviors, hence falsely perceived by collectivists as social norms. These are brought forth in this social experiment. Please don't fool yourself, as here the collectivist again alters reality. The following example has absolutely nothing to do with common courtesy, as you can assure yourself that the next person in the checkout line, in one way or another with the intent to create guilt, will show signs of disapproval or utter their dissatisfaction. In reality, these principles are decided by the collective human organism. Triggered by codependency, more or less all collectivists will automatically obtain immediate guilt if they don't place down this divider. Truly unique is the collectivist's amazing ability to show disapproval without actually using any words. As mentioned previously, passive coercion is often accomplished in public simply by staring. This undermining collectivist technique, one that is truly effective on the frail mind, is applied in various ways in an attempt to create guilt. In the example above, the checkout divider social experiment, disapproval is often made known with a silent statement of calmly squashing or pushing oneself past the person who did not place the checkout divider, or by banging it down as one roughly places the divider or the groceries on the conveyor belt. When a person in the queue before me kindly places the divider for me, I always thank them. In response, they do not generally turn toward me to acknowledge my kind comment. If they turn toward me, often they instead look at me with absolute amazement or contempt. Driven by a strong sense of entitlement, of course they take this seemingly curious gesture for granted. Though the true question to ask in the social experiment would be this: can anything be about common courtesy, like the altruistic illusion of selflessness that is perceived in collectivism as voluntary, when the individual's right to personally determine if one wants to show a kind gesture is actually predetermined? That is, predetermined by the fact that an inaction as simple as this can trigger people to go noticeably mental. Actions of common courtesy are not truly actions of a kind gesture, but are actually measures of expectation applied to avoid confrontations or feelings of personal guilt. Therefore, in reality, they are actions of codependency and are not truly kind gestures at all. A quote by Ivan Pavlov: "Don't become a mere recorder of facts, but try to penetrate the mystery of their origin."